Hey, you hear me? We live and clear right there.
Dedication.
You hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Well, you're all laggy and stuff, bro.
You're
Everyone
lagging.
that's viewing, I sincerely apologize for any technical difficulties. We're trying something new here. We got a Zoom. You know, Darian's a big big UFC superstar these days, going on every podcast left and right. And they all got him showing his, beautiful face and whatnot. Well, today I don't even know what's on his face. Those ain't stunner shades or nothing. Those ain't no Ray-Bans. What you got going on, bro?
They just dropped. Just these are the just dropped. Just dropped, baby. And they cost about a good grip. You know what I mean? So if you guys want to copy the swag, I ain't gonna be mad, but just know I had them first.
Well, straight up, you know what it is. You see the faces. Dedication period is back. The podcast is back. The brand is back. Darian never left. I might have a little bit. You might not have been able to find me for a minute, but Darian, everybody listening knows what Darian's been up to. But we're gonna kind of get into that, you know, but the behind the scenes type view. But the podcast is back. The brand is back. We got some exciting news for the t-shirts that are about to be on sale, but we'll get into that later. Darian, what's good? What is up with the glasses though, for real?
Yo, changed my name to Jamal. So now I'm living that life. You heard? Just got back from the eye doctor. Little dilate, little diluta. So now I'm looking like Luda. You
Okay.
heard?
Okay, well, okay. Yeah, they're trying to protect them eyes, but okay. Anyways, into the real good stuff. Appreciate you hopping in here. How do you like the setup behind me? What you know about the
Hey, what you know
dedication,
about that?
man?
What you want to know about that dedication P,
Can you tell I
dog?
got the Can you tell I got that ring light on me, man?
Oh, it does look bright in there.
Hey, to look
I just thought you,
professional or what?
I just thought you cleaned your walls, bro. But yeah, that's bright, bro. It's good.
Thanks to my podcast producer, um, setup designer, Deja Scott, shout out. But
Hey,
nah,
Vu, shout out.
so the reason why we couldn't do this podcast in person is why exactly? Tell the listeners where you at, Big D.
On every coast with every host. You feel me? I'm
Nah,
fucking
we,
out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, baby. Getting this high elevation suffocation in for my cardio. I'm getting to go with some good guys out here at this gym out here, old Jackson Wink. So we putting in the time and effort that it takes, to become great.
yeah, absolutely. And we seen at the beginning of the video, you got your boy, your trainer Rob Hewlett, Big Rob. Shout out Hewlett House.
Robert,
Yes,
hey,
sir. Yeah, that's the one and only. That's the goat right there.
that's the
But
goat. He's the goat, and he'll kill a goat with his bare hands. Let him know.
what is the so tell the listeners why you travel to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I know you were down in we're at in Florida as well a couple weeks back. Down there with Kamaru, trying to get a little behind the scenes footage on him. I heard, but
Yeah, we travel to different gyms, just get different looks. In the UFC, in all organizations, really, when you're fighting at this kind of level, you see all types of talent. So you want to make sure that you get your hands on all types of talent during your training camps.
I
Um,
like that. Get your paws on him, boy.
get your paws on here. So we want to get different looks, see if there's different skill sets that bring out weaknesses of ours, and when we
Yeah.
see those weaknesses, my coach brings us back to home base and we fix those weaknesses, or we train different, or we set up different moves to kind of make sure that we're all well rounded. We stay sharp. You know what I mean? A sharp edge cuts through deep. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And I know I mean, those that'll be listening to this podcast, I mean, they either have heard it from you or like in person, or they've heard it through your different podcasts you've done or whatnot. But kind of give me I want a quick wrap up this will be you've had 2 fights in the UFC. We haven't podcasted since any of them have happened. We did a little prelude to the Contender series that never even was because wait, he tested positive for the sauce, right? That's why that got canceled, or
He tested positive for something. I don't know what it was. But that
oh
wasn't
shit!
why
I do remember now. Oh yeah.
he won his Contender series debut with a right hand to the noggin in a minute 15 seconds, minute
Oh
15 seconds.
yeah. I remember the reasoning now. I see that's bad podcasting on my behalf. I should have
Yeah,
came in and realized
yeah.
that already.
I think he got popped for elevated estrogen levels,
Yeah,
something like that.
You could tell he was on.
Yeah, something.
yeah.
So
So
he
regardless, that never happened.
never
And
happened.
we haven't been able to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. But what I want to hear from you, break down what you learned from the Brian Barberena fight and Ian Gary. But we'll start with Brian, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, yeah, in that fight, as in both of my fights, I feel like I was the better athlete. You know, stronger person for sure in both of those fights. In that Barberena fight, we got it on short notice, no excuse. We came in there and we had the ability to get him out of there. Maybe we let the environment kind of, I don't know, hype us up or, maybe not stayed as focused as much. But I mean, we did some good, real damage in there. We took him down multiple times. We traded with him in every round. We had him stepping backwards quite a bit. We just didn't lock in the finish. End up losing that to decision. So it is what it is. I always say that my losses are my fault. I could have executed some things in there that would have made that fight easier. I could have took some advice from my corner more. And I just let him get me caught up in a firefight. Got caught up stand up. So, that is what it is. But then we went on to fight in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. IG. We met him up and
you mean Jacksonville, Florida, bro?
Fort Lauderdale.
I was at that one. You were just down in Fort Lauderdale training, were you?
Oh yeah, I'm in coast to coast. You heard?
You can't even keep track of it.
Can't keep track of where I'm at. But yeah, we down there in Jacksonville, 273, fighting IG, and I'll give him, he was athletically ready, but I was still the stronger athlete in that fight. As you could tell, I enforced a lot of pressure. He did do a lot more moving away than we thought he would do. We thought he would come in the tag. Still no excuse by me. There was opportunities that I should have attacked. There was opportunities that I had open, parts of my game that I never used. And that ended up getting us another decision loss on an athlete that we could have beat and that could have really changed the face of the game for us.
No, yeah, I definitely hear that, and that's on a serious note.
You
On a more like a lighter note, you told me this after the fights. I went to Jacksonville, showed out, supported my boy. But tell the listeners that confirm that you heard my ass screaming and hollering in the cage.
For
sure. There was like
15,000
people.
For sure. Connor's out there screaming, yelling for me.
About got in a fight with a dude.
Yeah. Dropping
Ian
people.
Gary fans started popping up everywhere, motherfucker, bro. I didn't like that.
So yeah. So I mean, we win, we showed up twice and we didn't, get to establish what we wanted to do, but also from each of those fights, we learned something new. We we took from those, we changed some things, we tried to understand some things on where we're comfortable, where we're not comfortable, what we need to do to get a win, what we need to do to establish our game. So this fight, I'm super excited about just because, we've changed all those things. We've shaped a not a new game, but tighten the game up a little bit. We kind of
Yeah.
zeroed in all our gaps, and we're ready to fight now, baby. We're ready to bring some blood to Paris, France.
Oh yeah.
Get the Eiffel Tower dripping. You know what I mean?
Eiffel Tower dripping, boy. You're gonna see that Eiffel Tower drip on a T-shirt. No
But
spoilers though. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But I want to ask you, what besides? I mean, obviously there were two different fighters. What was the difference in emotion for you? And like, did you notice? Like, did you gain confidence? Like, first fight, yeah, butterflies, all that. Was there a difference in that, or was it, your second fight was on a pay-per-view, considering first fight was on a just fight night, 3 days notice? So, can you kind of like walk me through that mindset? Like, were you more?
difference really, the fight night versus the pay-per-view. For one, it was 4 days notice when Barboza. So,
Yeah,
I like to be honest, we didn't have that time to get nervous. We didn't have the time to get butterflies. We didn't have the time to get, oh no, we just knew we have to step in there and fight. So that might have made our aggression higher in that fight. I was more eager to throw hands just because this is the first time I'm being on the UFC stage. It was 4 days notice, so I got to show up. All of those things kind of rolled into one. And also, it's not a very big crowd out there in the Apex Center.
Yep.
To opposed to where we flip back around to Jacksonville, we got 30, 38, 37,000 fans in attendance. Main event of the prelims. So kind of we knew 2 months, 3 months in advance. So really game planning that's what we understood in our camps too. We try to game plan too much, and it suffocates the action that we're able to pursue into that ring.
So
It
how do
gets
you
me
combat that? Like, how do you with the experience you have now, how do you avoid that in the future?
we kind of got to know, we want to go in there knowing what our opponent's capable of, but still at the same time, not changing our game to fit the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
know
yeah.
what we love. We know what he likes to do and what he doesn't like to do. And all we have to do is be conscious of the things that he can attack and the things that he is not very good at defending. So we don't change our game. We just understand of what our opponent's strengths are, and then we go ahead and attack accordingly. So it's not about
I like
so much.
that. I like that.
Yeah, so much the Ian Gary fight was about changing our game to try to fight a long guy, to try to,
Yeah.
fight a guy who's going to be like, and we shouldn't have did that. We should have just went in there and, fought like we usually fight. We'd have
So
grinded them out.
what's it like now, looking back? Obviously, I'm sure you've watched each fight 1,000 times, but what's it like now watching these dudes you've fought in the octagon? What we've been watching for years and years and years, both telling each other, "Yo, Darian, you about to be in that one day." What's it like now watching these dudes that you actually stepped in there, fought your damn self, weighed in, scrapped it out, 15 minutes? What's it like now sitting at home and watching these dudes fight? Like, for example, Ian Gary just knocked out that one dude. I don't remember his name. And then
Gabe
Brian
Green.
Barberena, Gabe Green, and then Barberena just made our boy Robbie Lawler just like
Look lost, boy. It kind
so
of
like, what's
sickens
it
me.
like seeing all that? Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
sickens me. It puts a turn in my stomach that because I mean, clearly in both those fights, even the Ian Gary fight, that it wasn't, much action. You could see that I'm, composure and better athlete than both the two. Should have beat both the two. Should have got a finish on my first one. Should have got a finish on the second one. Kind of just held the trigger back. So it kind of just sets me out of sorts. Just kind of puts me in a funked up mood, but at the same time gives me that, passion and drive, because I'm knowing like, okay, this is that's what the division's made of. You know what I mean? Even if you take back to Barberena's fights where he beat where he almost got a finish over Vicente Luque. Ended up losing that in the third round, where he took Leon Edwards to a decision, who's now the number one ranked welterweight in the world. Who took Kobe Covington to a decision, who's also number one or number two welterweight, in the world. That's what the division's made out of, those two fighters, you know what I'm saying? Ian Gary being the up and coming fighter. And I was able to take both of those dudes out. And I should have. And so it kind of gives me that, reflames me up, reignites me like, okay, well, I know what I'm capable of. I'm here and I can stand at the top of the division and bang all day. So, that puts me in good spirits in that way, and kind of drives me a lot harder to, know that, hey, this is the division I belong in. This is the organization I belong in, and this is the organization I can dominate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if there's anyone that can come, experience something like losing on a grand stage like the UFC, I definitely think it's you. I mean, we go way back, but you've always shown that drive to want to push through, and can kind of like touch on that. And like, so let's hear about your upcoming fight. You're going over to Paris, France. How do you change the outcome against your opponent, and kind of tell us what you know about him a little bit? Because honestly, I haven't watched the highlight videos yet. And
yeah, I'm going over to Paris, France, fight Cedric Dombe, and he's a
Dombe. That's correct pronunciation. Dombe.
Yep. Okay. He's a glory kickboxer, 75-6. He's a striker. You know what I mean? They say he has some wrestling base. You know what I mean? I don't care. I take wrestlers out on a daily basis. So, and I'm excited for this fight. I think it's a fight that's just like those other fights that I got thrown into. It's a fight that can rocket me. We're going over to his turf. He's got a lot of fans that have been long awaiting his debut for UFC or Bellator, one of these major MMA organizations. And not only that, he's a guy that has a lot of confidence about him. So we see it going down. We standing there and we outmatch his confidence at the same time, while cutting off some of the things that he's good at. We go in there and we establish a game that got us here in the first place. We don't change up. We go ahead and do what we've been known to do, and that's cause straight confusion and havoc when we get in there. And that's what we're gonna establish in this Paris fight, which is it's pretty nice. I don't think they've had many fights over there in Paris, France. So
I think there's only been like one other card. I could be wrong, probably am, but yeah.
Some sources say it's the first card here. I'm not 100% sure.
Damn, sources.
Yeah, but
Inside scoop, Rob Hewlett.
but either way, we're gonna go over there. We're gonna make it known. We're gonna make them see the reason why we were picked up and put in the UFC in the first place. Get back to our roots. Get back to some finishes.
Oh yeah.
Get back to that. Get back to that strong game that we had when we were making our way up in the ranks. So I think it'll be fun. He'll be a fun fight to go against. He shows just as much aggression and just as much, poise in the ring as I do. So I'm excited. I'm excited to step into this ring, face Cedric Dombe, and get this W, and come back home.
Oh yeah. And we're on a podcast here, so we talk about it all the time. That's all we do, talk. But we'll leave the talking about Dombe because we're gonna let Darian show it. And I know he's really, really, really itching to get in there. I've had some conversations. Let's kind of tilt this conversation to another side of having like that limelight, fighting in the UFC, whatnot. Talk about, because I know when you announced this fight with Dombe in Paris, you got a couple trolls that DM'd you a little bit. Talk about a little bit of the aspect of some of these motherfuckers that hit you up in the DM.
Yeah, it comes with a lot of fights. There's there trolls out there that never probably step in the cage in their whole life. They watch from the sport from their mom's couch, and they sit there and judge people for um, going out and pushing themselves and achieving things that themselves couldn't conceive of achieving.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's a couple of, trolls out there, that say, oh, watch when you get knocked out. And, I welcome that, that's not nothing but motivation to me. That's not nothing but, wood on the fire, you know what I'm saying? So they can go ahead and say that. And the only reason they say stuff like that is because they know if they were ever to cross the path of an athletic or a top fighter like we have to do on a daily basis, then they probably wouldn't last 2 seconds.
Game over, bro.
It just comes from deep within their own self of lack of self-worth, needing to put someone else down so that they feel like they know something or that they're, right about something in their head that tells them they couldn't do it either. So, I let them talk. I let the haters say what they want. But as soon as they start achieving things and doing things that they want to accomplish in their own life, they'll see the difference. But until then, they're gonna sit on their mom's couch with their uncle Robert and get their feet up and whine about who's gonna be the best and who's not.
Some might call you a UFC vet now. You're going into your third fight. You know what I mean? And that's some weird shit to say. No, but so you've met some of these guys. Daniel Cormier, homeboy with one eye. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Michael Bisping.
Yes, sir. Dana White, Buffer. I mean, Herb Dean. Who? Let me ask you a couple questions. First off, who did you enjoy meeting the most out of all these people that we've been watching for so long?
I got a great high respect for Herb Dean. It was cool meeting Herb Dean. I love meeting Jon Anik.
Jon Anik, yeah.
A long announcer on the UFC for quite some time. It was cool to meet. Those two people were really impactful to me because they are, know it or not, they're impactful to the sport. Herb Dean and almost every UFC pay-per-view, every big fight, he's usually the ref. You got Jon Anik, Joe Rogan, DC, all commentating the fight, every pay-per-view that we have. So it was really cool to, meet those kind of guys. And, it kind of let me know, hey, this is the level you're at now. That level where I came from being a spectator to being involved. So that was pretty moving for me.
For sure. And who was somebody that when you see him, you're like, man, I was actually about to set you up. I was about to be like, so who kind of underwhelmed you, bro? Like, who'd you see and was like, oh, really? That's it? But no, you probably shouldn't do that. Those are your colleagues.
Every fighter out there underwhelmed me.
Oh, shit. Wait, what?
Every fighter out there underwhelmed me.
What's up with this thing you told me about Khamzat Chimaev? He slight you a little bit?
That dude mugs people just to get a reaction out of there. That boy ain't happy. That boy ain't happy with his own life, And so he's upset at his mama and them for some reason, and he may act like the tough guy around town.
You said he brushed up into your shoulder in Jacksonville, right? Backstage?
Not really brushed
at
up.
The hotel?
Looked me up and down like who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'll take that beard off you, boy. You walk out here looking like a bald fucking muskrat. I don't give a fuck about that. So and he's just a guy, he just feels like he has to have a chip on his shoulder, and he's cool, He's probably emotionally distraught. He probably goes home and cries at night before he goes to bed. You know what I mean? That's just what he is. It's he's just having some battles within himself. Anybody who has to bring out aggression at somebody else is usually, having a hard time with their own feelings. So he probably goes, calls his mom, cries a couple times, and goes to bed, restarts it all over again. So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel you.
I definitely don't. I don't try to be a hater, but I don't welcome disrespect either, ever.
No, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, though, he did put on a nice little fight, but that don't mean nothing because
he put on a great fight against Gilbert Burns.
Oh, yeah.
He showed that he was ready for that top 10 breakthrough of the top 10 welterweight. So that's nice. I'm excited to see what he does when Nate Diaz gets in there. Nate Diaz is a longtime vet. Hard to get finished. I don't think he's ever been finished.
I think he's about to get finished.
I don't know. We'll see. Cosmont's only had 4 fights in the UFC, so we'll see what type of
Like, I love Nate Diaz, bro. I mean, we've had these conversations so many times, but bro, just lately it's just like I feel like it's almost annoying how he's trying to stay in that like Conor McGregor does it all the time. Everybody can spot it, but Nate Diaz, like it's like he's always saying something, but he's hardly ever fighting. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not mad at you, make your money and all that kind of things, but like, dude acts like he's. I mean, they always act like he's. I'll fight anybody, anytime, or nothing. But all these fights get brought up all the time, nothing happens. I honestly, I ain't gonna believe he fights Kamzat till I see it, man. I'm saying that much.
I think he'll fight Kamzat, and I think he'll bring something that, see Nate Diaz. This is the only thing that aggravates me about Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz's ability to finish, but his showmanship overtakes that. You know what I mean? He wants to be the showboater in there, but he's able to finish a lot of these guys. As we've seen with Leon Edwards, getting the shit beat out of him. He's flipping him off all fight. Turning around, showing him his ass. And then with 20 seconds to go, he cracks Leon Edwards and takes him out of this world. You know what I mean? Like
I seen a meme and it looked like it was like Nate Diaz after the Kamzat Jemayev fight or whatever, and it's like him getting wheeled out on a stretcher, like flipping off, blood all over the place, and like at least someone's like, at least he got his middle finger in.
Yeah, straight up.
But like I feel the fight. I mean, I feel you. Like, I understand Nate Diaz does things that most people might not catch or whatever, but like at the end of the day, bro, I just feel like Chimaev's too much of a horse and too much momentum behind him. And Nate Diaz, like, I don't know, I don't see how he can even win that fight because I don't feel like he's strong enough to take him down or hold him down. So how's he going to submit him? Kamzat probably not going to hang it. Kamzat got submission defense. Kamzat got submissions of his own. I just don't see where Nate does anything positive except make money.
He's ready to shock the world.
I'm not trying to hate either.
He's ready to shock the world.
We got
Diaz gang for life.
Who's the pound for pound best in the UFC right now?
In the whole UFC?
Yeah, everybody likes to talk. Everybody was talking Kamaru Usman. That's
Alex Volkanovski.
And now that's what I'm saying.
Let me
right
finish.
now. Alexander Volkanovski's getting.
I actually changed that. Sorry.
Where's your boy
Valentina
Jonathan?
Shevchenko.
Valentina. So Jon Jones, since he hasn't fought, is just not in it. Not in the talk right now. Huh?
He's not in it right now. He hasn't competed with these new breed of athletes. We saw him beat Dominic Reyes, but other than that, this is a whole new breed.
This kind of interrupts everything, but I don't even know if we see Jon Jones fight. Do you think we ever see him fight consistently ever again, or is it all just going to be big money draws?
Oh, big money draws. I mean,
because
and to be fair, he's earned that. He fought consistently for years, and there was nobody that could beat him. Swept the division, defended his title 14 times at light heavyweight. I mean, gosh, you know what I mean? Like that's incredible. He was the first to do it before everybody else was over here talking about I want to be the reigning champ. You know what I mean? And if Conor McGregor, who's only defended his belt 2 or 3 times, can be the face of the UFC, why can't Jon Jones, who came out of here and literally cleaned house from the vets to the new boys? You know what I mean?
And obviously most of the reason is because he can't stay out of harm's way when it comes to like trouble and whatnot.
Yeah, he's got to
And
get that. You got to get that under
but I
wraps.
just the more time he takes off and whatnot, like I can't see him coming back. Like with this amount of time he's taken off, how does he come in and just outclass Francis Ngannou for 5 rounds? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I think he is much better all around mixed martial artist, but I mean, bro, you ain't been in there, you know what I mean? Like, and Francis Ngannou been in there cleaning clocks, but I just don't know if we're ever gonna see him, defending the belt multiple times ever again. I think it's just gonna be big fights. I don't know. I
I
hope
don't
not
even know
though.
if we'll ever see Francis Ngannou defend the belt multiple times.
It's
To be
all weird,
honest,
and it's all because of the money side of things. Everybody's seeing Jake Paul. Everybody's seeing McGregor. Everybody's making huge money going over to box. But UFC fighters, I mean, obviously the top of the top at the UFC get paid well, but nothing like these Jake Paul one-off boxing matches. But it's
yeah,
all just weird right now. I was saying it from the jump. Like you need to take out Dombe in France, do a gainer off the fucking octagon, grab the
Painter.
mic, I've seen you do them multiple times. Then grab the mic and start calling out Jake Paul. Fuck, call out Tommy Fury too. Who gives a shit? We'll go over to the pond. We'll cross the pond on your ass. Like, no, maybe we should just focus on Down Bay and then the next one after that. But I
We
don't know if
focus on
you're.
we focus on shoveling out some of these welterweights in this UFC division, and
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
we can get our money at. You know what I mean?
But it's wild. I wanted to bring this up. I think we only have like 4 more minutes left. I don't have the upgraded version of Zoom right now, but eventually we'll be able to get our long shit in. But I don't know if you remember this, but after your fight in Jacksonville, I asked. It was on the beach. I was asking you, Carmen, Dylan, everybody. I was like, "Where's Darian gonna fight next?" And like, I don't remember if you remember where you said, but like, I think I said like L.A. or some bullshit. But I never would have guessed Paris, France, bro.
Paris, France, baby. You know, and I'm glad. You know, that means a lot to me. That means a whole bunch of the UFC will pick me to be on this card. It's a good card. I think
Cyril
Serial
Gone. Yeah.
Gasa are headlining this card. So I mean, it's a strong card. I'm excited. I'm hyped up. I'm ready to bite an ear off, punch a neck, punch a jugular. You know what I mean? I'm ready to just get banging with it. So it it'll be fun. It'll be a fun experience. It'll be a fun fight. Um, I'm ready to go ham. I'm ready to show myself at Fight Night 209, 202, 209, maybe.
I don't know, man. I didn't know Fight Nights kept track of the numbers and shit. I thought it was just a fight night
Dude,
every time.
I didn't know either until they
I'd
posted it.
be there. I've only missed like one or two of your fights out of the 30, 40, whatever fights you've had. But yeah, I'm introducing little baby girl. So
Little baby girl
maybe,
to the game.
maybe
Hell
the
yeah.
next one, I'll be there front row next time though.
I'll do a cowboy for you. You know what I'm saying? Next time you come to a fight with the baby, I'll take the baby and
Yeah,
hold it up.
I'm bringing the baby in the cage, yeah, like the Lion King.
They're like, is that his baby? No, it's his homie's baby.
No, that's
Why does
my
he have
boy.
his homie's baby? He has his homie's baby
I
on the
just need a little TV time, boy.
on TV. But yeah, no, it'll be
Yeah.
dope. I'm excited. It'll
Oh
be
yeah. And when you're listening to this, the shirts should be out for pre-order or something, or you should see the design. So make them plans, get you a shirt, support the brand, support Darren Weeks going to Paris, support Rob Hewlett, support them all.
what Rob Hewitt.
But no, I appreciate you taking the time, Big D, out in Albuquerque where the desert's hot. But
Where it's hot, where your eyes are dilated. It's hot out here.
you got a closing statement, last thing you need the listeners to know, and anything. It doesn't have to be UFC related, don't have to be fight related.
Closing is, hey, watch out for the brand. You know what I'm saying? It may just be the return, but return of the takeoff. You heard? We touched so many people when he started this at the first, and now we at such a much higher level, jumping back into it. So it's gonna go even that further, that broader, and come on now, dedication period. Stay dedicated, or it ain't gonna bring you shit. Period. You hear it?
Exactly. You gotta stay dedicated, and that's one thing that I can say. Darian's always been dedicated to his craft, and that's why he's gonna show off in the octagon September 3rd, Paris, France. Darian Weeks, first Dome Bay. He's going. Night, night.
Go.
Appreciate you, bro. Much love.
Much
Peace.
love, brother.